Confusion in the PDP in Edo State ahead of Thursday's primary of the party as Ogbede Hiyama, one of the aspirants, goes to court. And the police is taking charge of the APC Secretariat in Abuja today, with NWC members holding a closer meeting. This comes a day after some APC governors met President Muhammadu Buhari, but the police say it's to avert violence. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. So much to talk about tonight. Just stick with me, everyone, in this half hour. So we'll take you through the ride that has been a very tough one for some of the politicians in Nigeria, especially with what is happening ahead of the Edo State governorship election. So let's get started. First and foremost, let's kick off in Abuja, where there seems to be some controversy over the leadership of the APC. But as we understand, today the police are taking over, moved into to ensure the leadership crisis does not result in breakdown of law and order by taking charge at the party's national secretariat in Abuja. The action was said to have been taking on the orders of the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu. Members of the party's National Working Committee who were at the office were prevented from gaining access at force into the secretariat in order to vacate the premises. This comes as the party's leadership remains divided over who takes over as the acting national chairman of the APC, following the suspension of his national chairman, Mr. Adams Oshomole. But the police have said their action today is to avert any form of breakdown of law and order. We have some other political stories for you on our political roundup.
President Muhammadu Buhari says he's uncomfortable with the decision of countries in the West African Economic and Monetary Union zone deciding to take up the echo as its official currency, replacing the CFA franc ahead of other member states. The president made this observation at a virtual meeting with heads of state of the West African Monetary Zone on the implementation of ECOWAS Monetary and Cooperation Program and Single Currency Agenda. According to the president, the decision should have been tabled for discussion by all member countries before it was made. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, says the demolition of Nigerian embassy residence in Ghana is an attack on the Nigerian state and goes beyond apologies or rebuilding the structure. The speaker says the legal issues surrounding the land should not be settled by a Ghanaian court. He was speaking at a meeting between the House of Representatives Committee on Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The All Progressives Congress in Ondo State have asked the Deputy Governor of the state, Honorable Alfred Agbola Ajayi, to resign his position following his defection to the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The party is not happy that the Deputy Governor said he will remain the Deputy Governor as long as his people have not asked him to quit. Justice Okonabang, the presiding judge, has fixed June the 29th to deliver a ruling on the case involving Mr. Abdulrasheed Maina, a former chairman of the Pension Reform Tax Team. After the initial setback in fulfilling his bail conditions, Mr. Maina has found a senator who is willing to stand as a surety. Maina, who is standing trial for alleged money laundering, was granted a 1 billion naira bail but struggled to fulfill his bail condition, including having a senator as a surety. Moving an application for a further variation of the bail conditions granted to Maina, Joe Gazama, Maina's counsel, informed the court that Aline Dume, senator representing Borno South, has agreed to stand in for Maina. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, arraigned Maina on 12 counts of money laundering on October 25, 2019.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on the program. It's a torrid one in Edo State. On both sides of the major political divide, wherever you may stand, it perhaps looks like none of the political parties, the two major frontline political parties, the ruling APC at the center and the opposition PDP, are not finding it easy. In the next 2 days, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is expected to hold its primary, but it appears trouble might be looming. Today, some court orders have come up. The Federal High Court sitting in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, has granted a request for an accelerated hearing of the suit seeking to bar Governor Godwin Obaseki from participating in the People's Democratic Party governorship primary in Edo State. The order follows a suit filed by one of the governorship aspirants in the party, Omorige Ogbede-Ihiama, who says he will not step down for Governor Obaseki. The primary election is scheduled for Thursday, June the 25th, 2020, to choose a party's flag bearer for the governorship election in September. Mr. Ogbede-Ihiama argued that only those who purchased the forms during the stipulated time should be allowed to take part in the primary election. Before adjourning the matter till tomorrow, June the 24th, for hearing of the summons, Justice Emmanuel Obile ordered that the parties in the suit should be served through substituted means into national delis. Governor Obaseki got a waiver of the PDP to join the race under its platform after resigning from the All Progressives Congress, APC. We'll have had an interview with Mr. Ogbede-Ihiama to understand the reasons why he went to court. Of course, the PDP chairman in Edo State said nothing will stop this primary. Anyways, they are going to go ahead and everything is in order. Well, we have information about the fact that there is another court order that is planned to stop Mr. Obaseki. We also know in the last few minutes, before I entered into the studio, we'll be giving you details of that there is another court order. We'll give you all those details. Let's get into the conversation tonight and get a breakdown. One of the aspirants in this race who is insisting he's not going to step down joins me on the program also. From our Abuja, from our Benin studio, is Mr. Kenneth Imaswagbon, an Edo PDP governorship aspirant in our Benin studio, as well as a member of the PDP and a lawyer, Mr. Anthony Ahilebo. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on tonight. Let me begin with you, Mr. Imaswagbon. It does look like a very interesting times ahead. For you, you told me in the last conversation we had that God had told you that you will become the governor of Edo State. Does that still remains? Because from what we see now, Governor Obaseki has joined the race.
Thank you, Shane, for having me. Absolutely, confusion in Edo. It's sad, very sad that our great state is being battered by very few people for their selfish and personal interest. However, I believe, we know and we believe that we believe that the D-Day is here. I welcome heartily Governor Obaseki to our great party. It's a big umbrella. I've said this. But however, where we are not happy, what we're not happy about is the breach of the guideline. We will not accept any imposition, we will not accept importation of delegates, will not accept after congresses have been held for there to be manipulation or touches anywhere by any person. I see more legal actions coming, John, I can tell you that. Ab initio, the process leading to the D-Day, Thursday, Friday, have been tampered with. It's sad for the country and for PDP and for our country. I'm a PDP person, but it's very sad. And it's disheartening and troubling. And we shall see. The world is watching. And I know people are watching. We shall see. But it's very sad. I am in support of what Ogbede-Ihiama have done. I will proceed to the court anyway. That's for sure. I surely will go to court because I cannot, after 16 years, submit myself to a very compromised process. A process that have been compromised before the D-Day. You don't do that. There's nowhere. We are not a laughing stock. There's nowhere that parties behave the way PDP have behaved now, process leading to the election. Nobody's going to accept that. Even if Ogbede do accept that, I assure you that I will get to the Supreme Court on the matter. Make no mistake, nobody should take anybody for a ride. 16 years of torture, 16 years of failure of godfatherism. I have suffered the injustice of the godfathers in this state. Today, I was told, I read in the social media where a civil society group said they're going to sue me, take me to court for 2 billion naira if I fail to participate in Thursday elections. Look, they said, Ken, we are trusting that you are our hope. I should not succumb to pressure. So how do I explain to such a group or Edolites who are like saying, God, we want a change. We want a departure from the old.
Because you said that you are not going to step down. Has anybody asked you to step down? And if you approach the court, what would you be telling the court? If you can hear me, Mr. Maswagbon, you are saying that you are not going to agree to step down. Has anybody approached you to step down from the race? And if you go to court, what would you be telling the court?
Kind of evil upon ourselves. I can tell you, even at the point of bayonet, I'm not going to step down for anybody.
Let me perhaps bring Mr. Anthony Hilebo into the conversation. Mr. Hilebo, this is not a good time for your party, is it? Because of the court orders that we are hearing left, right, and center. He said he's going to court. What does this bring for your party?
You don't shift the goalposts at the middle of the game. There are two standards now. The standard for a governor and the standard for other aspirants. After 2 years of we crisscrossing the state, myself, Ogbede Hama, Gideon Ekine, who have stepped down now, you don't ask people to step down. Nobody is going to accept that. You don't compromise the system before the election, before the primaries. We all know that on Thursday, Godwin Obaseki is going to emerge, but it doesn't end with what PDP will do. I want to say this to the national leadership and to the world. If they compromise the system and Godwin emerges, nobody is going to accept the result of the election.
Mr. Anthony Hilebo, give us your own understanding of what the situation is right now in Edo. Is a confusion for your party, is it? And what is the way forward here?
Well, I really don't want to take from your introduction, you kept saying confusion. I don't think there's any confusion here. I've listened to my elder brother here speak. I have a lot of respect for him. But some of the comments he's made has put me in a frame of mind that he's already written off a process that he has not yet started participating in. As a party, I entered PDP the day PDP lost this state 12 years ago. I have been in opposition for 12 years in this state. And the greatest thing I have seen this year happen is the governor coming over to the party. But that's not to say that the party or as a member of the party, I am willing to accept that anybody will compromise the process just for anybody. He's a governor. He's coming in. He has brought a lot of milestone to the party and to the NWC. Kudos to them. When they came in, they had just 7 governors. And today, the NWC of the party, as much as we want to criticize what they've done, now have added, they now have 17 governors. That is a feat that, as opposition, I am proud that we have achieved as a party. I mean, we have gone through electoral processes in the past. We elected former presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar in a in a primaries that everybody declared was free and fair? Why is it that my brother here will not accept that the party can conduct a congress that is free and fair? If he's talking about the waiver that was granted to Governor Obaseki, duly the party saw an opportunity. And will you tell the party not to take that opportunity? Nigerians, I'll tell you what happened the day Governor Obaseki was coming into the party. I was in the state chairman's office, and I think there was a delay. Do you know what the state chairman kept muttering? The people will not forgive me if the governor does not come. The people will not forgive me if the governor does not come, because he was expecting the governor to come to the party and swell the ranks of the party. I'm a delegate to that election. It's unfortunate that my brother has not even canvassed votes for me. I expect that at this point in time, he's speaking to Nigerians, he's talking to Nigerians on TV, he's canvassing for votes from the delegates. We have so abused our processes that we think that going to court will solve the problem. Where someone is trying to give you free and fair primaries, I don't understand how you are now subjecting the process to ridicule and going to court, because I have not seen anything so far that tells me or indicates that the National Working Committee of the party does not intend to conduct a free...
Mr. Ayilabo, apologies to Button, because we need to take our break. So when we come back, we will hear from the PDP chairman in Edo State who says, look, this process will continue. We'll also hear from Mr. Ogbede Ihama, whom we spoke to earlier on the program. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I think that in the face of perceived injustice, people react differently. Some people might consult, ask people, what do I do on this issue? Some people will just take an action and say, let me go to court. As I said, we respect that right. So if I was consulted, if I was asked, what do I do? Of course, I would have said the court should be the last option. Let's exhaust, let's talk to more people, let's consult, let's ask questions. Then if we don't get the answers that we want, then we can go to court. But again, it's within his rights to go. I've gone to court, we respect that right, and we'll see what the lawyers do with that case. The court action is to stop the governor from participating in the primaries. It's restricting the primaries to the 3 people that initially bought forms. I wouldn't know whether in the exercise of your right, you have the right also to stop somebody from exercising that same right. But as I said, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't pretend to be one. I expect the lawyers to handle that the way they know how best to handle.
Thank you so much, everyone. You heard the PDP chairman in Edo State. Stand by, everyone. Breaking news coming right here. Another court order, this time around coming from a high court in Ekpoma, in Edo State, between the plaintiffs and the applicants, Mr. Felix Irio and Mr. Tom Irebuede, and the defendant in that case is Dr. Tony Aziebwemi, who is the chairman of the party, the PDP, Honorable Ikadiame Peter Ahiemen, and INEC. The order of the court is praying that the court should allow and should not leave out Governor Godwin Obaseki. Some of the breaking news that we're getting right now about a court order coming from a high court in Ekpoma. We get some details right here on Channels Television. Things are moving so fast. Earlier on, I told you that we spoke with one of the aspirants in these race, the man who went to court, Mr. Ogbede Ihama. He was on the telephone with us, and the first question we asked him, the reasons why he went to court. Take a listen to him.
Well, hi, Sharon. How are you? And good evening, viewers. The court order is not to stop the primaries. The court order is actually against the processes of the primaries, leading to the primaries and the primaries itself, organized by parties. And it's going to stop inclusion of any new entrant into the race, having started the processes.
Mr. Omorige also told us why he's unhappy with Ms. Godwin Obaseki joining the race. This was his reaction.
Well, that's not exactly correct, because this issue is a moral issue. It's not about His Excellency Governor Obaseki at all. as you may know, the Obedi Hama family, the Obaseki family, and a few other families are well known in the Benin Kingdom. So it has nothing to do with His Excellency, but to do with the processes by which the party is trying to bring Governor Obaseki into the ballot. For me, it's about doing things the right way. People should be able to stand for what they believe in, systems and processes. Our party is guided by a constitution. And for me, I think that the constitution should guide exactly what our processes, what our processes should follow. So my grievance is doing things the way that it shouldn't happen. For me, I think that the party should do things the right way.
That's our conversation on the telephone earlier on with Mr. Ogbede Hiama, the man who went to court. Let's get back to our Benin studio with my guest there. One of the aspirants, Mr. Kenneth Imaswagban, who also says he's going to court, and in fact, he's ready to take this case to the Supreme Court. And of course, Mr. Anthony Ahilebo, a lawyer and a member of the PDP. Don't forget the breaking news we're following for you. A court order asking that the party, INEC, and other parties involved should not leave out Godwin Obaseki in the Thursday race. Stay with us right here on Channels Television to get the details. Let me get back to our Benin studio. Mr. Imaswagban, with what you heard, Mr. Your colleague there, Mr. Ahilebo, say earlier on, where do you go from here? Is this a do or die affair?
Absolutely no, Seun. What we are saying is the NWC they can't play God. They don't have the power to make a man a woman or a woman change a woman to be a man. That's what we're saying. Yes, they can grant waiver at the point of your entry, but they cannot waive the guidelines, the process that have already been in motion. You can't change that process. To change that process or tamper with that process is tantamount to killing democracy, doing the unjust, favoring party A against party B. You're not abiding by the rules. Yes,
but if I may butt in quickly, sorry, react to this court order that's just coming in now, asking that Mr. Godwin Obaseki should be allowed. This is a high court in Ekpoma in Edo State saying Mr. Obaseki should be allowed in the race on Thursday. Your reaction to that?
Well, my reaction is, of course, the respect to the Lord Justices. Of course, they are under the watch of Governor Obaseki. We know all this. The game ahead will be very interesting. Some of us, especially my humble self, have made up my mind, governor or no governor, Nigeria is important. Democracy is what is important to me now. I know the consequence of what I'm doing. I'm going to take this game beyond the shores of the trial courts or to the Supreme Court so that we know when exactly the primary starts.
All right, let's hear from Mr. Ahilebo. Mr. Ahilebo, you are a lawyer in this sense. Where does your party go from here, from the court order that we'll see tomorrow? Is the Thursday exercise in danger?
Again, I'm very wary of using words that will... I'm a delegate to that particular primary. Like I said, he's not consulting me. So if my dear brother here is saying that we cannot make amendments, I, as the head of new media, wrote a document that favored him while he was abroad for him to be screened. And that is not in any of our guidelines. But because the party took a position that they must make sure that we don't have the kind of problems APC have where people are screened out. You know, it's interesting that people who have been given a free hand up to now, the lawyers that are in Port Harcourt seeking to get a judgment from Port Harcourt are the same lawyers that fought for the party to regularize the processes up to now. So what are the processes they are trying to say that the process is fraught with corruption. These are the same lawyers that defended the
All right,
party.
we need to leave it at that and see how this all plays out altogether because we're out of time. I must sincerely thank you, Mr. Imaswagwa and Mr. Hilebo, and I wish your party the very best in the coming days. But the breaking news right here. Stay with us on Channels Television to get the details, or go to channelstv.com, our website, and you get all of the details about what is happening in Edo State. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Bye-bye.